It is like so peaceful at like 1:30 in the morning. Like yeah, there's a lot of like crazy stuff that goes down, but like or like vampires and shit. Or but it is like really like a different kind of peace like when nobody's up. Or and welcome back, episode 3. House, what is this, Lager or House Lager? How's everybody doing out there? It's me, it's Stizzy. You're back rocking with me, and of course we're playing the best thing in the world, right? The best thing in the world. Be a Game of Thrones mod in Crusader Kings 2. That's what we're doing. Or and last episode, where we really left off was like here, but when I edited it, we just like kind of cut off. So we left off with like some, I think, what is this? An inheritance for the territory of CK2. So, word, right? This is where we're starting off. Yeah, we're doing it. And is this territory right here? So, yeah, like this territory, or I'm not sure like what this is in like regular Game of Thrones lore, but we're probably not gonna expand here. Just being honest with you, I don't really think, right? Like, let's remove that, let's get back behind that fourth wall and everything, right? And gameplay wise with Sienna, I just don't see her having any interest to expand this far east. That being said, let's actually check her out. Christ. Sorry, I don't mean to use that in vain, but yeah, wow. That is a hefty troop total. So, you know what? I didn't think we would, but we're gonna keep tabs on her. Why not? With this territory, pretty interesting. And yeah, far as last episode went, it was pretty dope. We actually ended up setting up our first diplomatic tie, and that is actually with this little chicken nugget right down here. And that is the High Lordship of AGOT. So we went off and we betrothed our daughter, I believe. I think her name is Dahlia. Let's check this out. Yeah, Dahlia LAEGYR. And yeah, and what's so dope about the High Lordship of AGOT? It's really just one really strong castle. Right, and yeah, it's got a city and everything, but check out the city. Yeah, it's got 1965 in terms of troops, but it's really just one dope, huge castle. And yeah, I'm not sure why it's really a high lordship. Let's check out the de jure tab. Alright, yeah. High lordship. Yeah, it's literally just the lordship of Illyria. Now, I'm not sure if it's the submod developers that, like, maybe this is lore. Maybe Illyria is really just one chicken nugget of a high lordship. And yeah, and we're betrothed to them. So we fortified really our our military might. So we're up to about, I'd say, 19,000 combined in forces. Right? Let me see. Yeah, I'm at about 11,334 men, and I'm maxed out. All right, that's the entire army levy from my demons and from my vassals. So, yeah, formidable. Is Sienna becoming in this world? And I'm not sure what we're gonna name this world. Excuse me. Do you guys want to stick with Westeros? Do you guys want to stick with? Yeah, that's the only thing I have. Yeah, is that something? We're just gonna call this Westeros, and yeah, let's just leave it Westeros. If you guys come up with a better world name, because this is a shattered world, yeah, you guys come up with it. But this how can I say world, right? As of right now, the heavy hitters. We'll get into the heavy hitters. Or Stizzy, don't lose train of thought. But before we get into that, we're just gonna like get rid of this this little notification. But it actually let us know who actually took over CK2. So again, there was a time of, let's get back to CK2. There was a time of kind of like unsure rulership, and I guess that's an interregnum. interregnum. That's what my drama teacher would have said. Like, you know, Stizzy, say it with confidence, like you know it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell that means, but I guess like that's a period of time where they didn't know who was supposed to be ruling, and the person that ended up getting that was the Prince Mao Kwai of CK2. Okay, and yeah, so he's the new guy that we've got to, yeah, I would have said like try to work with, but yeah, he doesn't really like us too much. Yeah, because we're both ambitious. I have a foreign religion, of course. You know, I'm High Valyrian. Or then you're like whatever Yetish is. What is Yetish? I'm not even sure what that is. The gods of Yeti. Okay. Okay, so the gods of Yeti. I don't really care about that. Or, but yeah, he doesn't like me, and he's not really that, you know, he's potentially a strong foe or a strong ally when he gets his troops up, so we'll keep a tab on him. I don't know. I just never really see myself playing this far east, or Sienna, that is. All right. And let's try to get to episode 4 before we even, that's a long ways away. So back to our actual land, right? And what we actually care about, which is the continent of Valyria for right now. We like I said, we married off our we betrothed off our daughter. We're currently setting up a claim on the lordship of the marble, and that gives us a little bit of time to actually check out our realm a little bit more and what kind of realm we want to be. So I always like said, you know, I'd love to have like a realm of like warrior Valyrians. I'm not sure when I said that, but playing this game, the thought did cross my mind, and that's kind of like where I'd like to go with them. So we're, you know, because I guess of the Conclave DLC, that means that we get to kind of like choose, I think, like what is the education focus and all of that for all of the young people in our court. So yeah, we're definitely going to push the martial envelope heavy. We're going to be, and that makes sense lore wise for Sienna, because you know she was a warrior, right? That is her background, you know, and because that's her background, it makes sense that her realm would be known as like warriors. You know, the Stark are known as like, you know, people that always have honor. So yeah, I guess maybe like we could just focus on her lineage, but I think her realm would like benefit from that. But of course, right, if there's somebody that is like looking like they're gonna be a dope like steward, we're not gonna like just keep Marshall, like, right, and then Marshall like a 2. So we're gonna go kind of like we're gonna probably start everybody off with like the struggle or pride or whatever. I guess that's the childhood education focus. That usually kind of like the red things, right? Or let's check out if she has any red things. All right, she doesn't have any red things, but this guy should have red things. Okay, we can't really. Okay, we'll get to somebody that we can make an example of. All right, perfect. So what I was saying was that we'll be able to do this with everybody, and let's go ahead and start that off with our Kian. All right, so we'll start off Dahlia with the pride. Wow, with the pride education focus, and that's along the lines of what we'll do with all of the kids. Yeah, we've already got Bathan, second of his name. We've already got our son kind of like choosing that path already, and he's being educated by us, and we're like badass, you know, warrior, puffy face Valyrian. So he should be on the right path. But yeah, like because you know we're waiting for a couple of things in the background of CK2 to, you know, pop off for us. We have some time to really dig into lore and dig into our realm and explore characters that we have. And so yeah, let's go ahead and check that out. But before we do that, well, while we do that, we're gonna always get interrupted by these stupid, not stupid, but you know, CK2 game progressing events. So one of those are this one. So following the teachings of divinely inspired thinkers, a diligent human should strive for peaceful resolutions. Yeah, you're right. I have members of my court who do not see eye to eye, and my duty as their liege is to arbitrate their disputes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You're right. So I guess I disputed something between Lady Rhaenys of Eleanor Isle, that's of the House Hartaris. Ah, yes, I'm getting good at my realm. Yay. Yeah, and some kind of like crap between Master Mailer of Eleanor Isle, and he doesn't really have any, he doesn't really have, he's not a noble character, so I guess something happened. It was a lot of talk, but it was well worth it. So, alright, so that means that I had to mediate something and I got prestige. Good. Alright. So all of that, yep, just to get 25 prestige. Is what CK2 does. But actually back to our realm. So, we checked out our vassals last go around, and we checked out Rhaenys Hartaris, and we know who her husband is and everything, and he's not really, he's got a decent intrigue. But we're actually gonna go now and kind of like look at who we've got in our council, and it's something that I'll be straight up, I kind of like love that NG does. He, for the most part, he tries to kind of like keep up with everything that's going on in his realm. And if you game CK2, and I don't know, the way I always, it's like the stuff is just in my head. So yeah, like real like little like stories just like happen in my head. So it's so dope that it's like I'm like watching his series, and it's like, wow, like the guy's like crazy. He keeps track of like his council and all that stuff, and it's sometimes you keep up with more characters than others, depending on like how they grow throughout your gaming. But that's something that I like to try to kind of like focus on. And yeah, so he always kind of like digs into his council. So yeah, what a dope place to kind of like start in terms of really being connected with like your realm and stuff, right? So who we have currently for our Castellan is a guy named Jakaris, and he's not really doing anything for us really like game wise right now. And we've got a notification that our son is sick. We need Bathan to be alive, so we'll call for a physician at once. All right, good. So we'll have him oversee the realm, but stuff that we can do. Okay, my son was healed. All right, good. And I paid $5 for his healer. All right, good. All right, and we can afford it. All right, all right. And so yeah, as of right now, we don't really have anything for him to do as our Castellan. So getting him married as of right now, he's 37. He's still pretty young. He can still have some kids. Him as a character, not really like the biggest fan of him. I know we just kind of like went with like who has the best, whatever these are again, it just escapes me. Who have whatever the best skills that are available. So, and we went with, okay, he has like a dope, state stewardship, but as a character, he's kind of, right? He's a skills steward, of course. He's a poor fighter. He's soft. He's cynical. So like nobody really likes him, but he's kind. And he's selfish. Or he's nice, but he's a dick. Yeah. So yeah, not really. Not sure that that's somebody that Sienna would kind of like to have around her, right? But she hung around. Yeah, especially because he's craven. I don't see this somebody that she'd like to kind of like continue a line with, or like probably will bestow a noble title on. Just as of right now, he hasn't really done much for us. So what we can do is, raise him to nobility. You might get an event for that or something like that. But yeah, he's not a character that we do anything like that as of right now. All right. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna check out the next member of our council. Before we do that, let's check this out. So our friend Mrs. Harlania, she's grown tired of war, and should we help her? Now Harlania, of course, right? We all know, like, we've got to help out our friend. But like, what are the benefits for helping her out? Like, yeah, like she's kind of like my half sister or whatever. Not really, but like, you know, or you know, like her family. Yeah, she is kind of. She's, I guess, my stepsister. I have no clue. She's my adopted sister, and her parents raised me and everything. And she gave me the High Lordship of Igris. So, yeah, maybe we should help her, but as of right now, things are switching up for Sienna. You know, she, like, right now, lore wise, right? She's got her one of her best friends, which is, you know, basically a queen, but of like a merchant republic. So she is basically, or the mistress of Gagosos, however you pronounce it. Somebody had sent me a comment about like how to pronounce it, but then like they deleted it. I've had no clue. Write like another comment, so like let me know what the hell I'm saying wrong. But right, so she's got this friend Harlania, her adopted sister, and you know they're bound together. You know, they are. You know, honor compels them to. Honor compels them to be forever bonded, right? Because of everything that Harlania's parents did for Sienna. They gave her the house name LAEGYR, right? There's no LAEGYR without the Baharans, right? Which is the house of that Harlania's parents are from. But she's always grown up thinking she has to like make sure that she not necessarily like looks out for herself, but that she understands what her path is, right? And her path has led her to, she didn't want the High Lordship of Igris. You know, after she won the battle of the Valyrian Straits, right? Close up time. Right? She just wanted to go about her way, and you know, she died during that battle, right? And she was resurrected and everything. They ended up invading Eleanor Isle, and you know, there was a huge battle there to kind of like over the temple of Eleanor Isle. That's where the groups that's where like the last stronghold of the usurpers of the High Lordship of Igris, the dishonorable group that seceded from Gelios, right, and the adventurers that were looking to expand their High Lordship into the free city of Gagosos, whatever, right? She did all of that. So she did what honor demanded, right? She saved Harlania's realm one time before, and she didn't ask for the High Lordship of Igris. She just was kind of like stuck with it, and she has to lead these people that were like just basically without any lord now, and yeah, I guess, right? All right, let's bring in Gelios. Right, I guess, right? Queen Race of Gelios, she could have came in and I guess kind of like taken over the responsibility of the High Lordship of Igris. But you got to remember, right? Like when those guys seceded, right? When the people that were running the High Lordship of Igris seceded from the kingdom of Gelios, she had to kind of like chew that and like chill, right? There was no civil war. There was no like, for whatever reason, and we might expand that in kind of like another episode when I just make things up like I'm doing right now. For whatever reason, she just didn't, there wasn't a battle. And maybe, you guys can help me out in that comment section, or with she didn't help them out with the battle over the High Lordship of Igris, because she could have came in when Gagosos, declared that they were going to take on the attackers. She could have, the invaders of Gagosos, Gelios could have kind of like joined forces, but they didn't. And because of that, you know, that's something that Lady Sienna, you know, she died for that fight. So she wasn't going to be cool with, you know, the kingdom of Gelios just coming in and kind of like taking what she, you know, she sweated over, she bled over, she died over. You know, so she has to lead this High Lordship, right? So I know that was a long-winded way of saying like we're not gonna help out HARLANIA, but we're gonna help her out kind of like as minimally as possible. And why else, right? Why else wouldn't we? Because like the succession sucks. There's not like her kid isn't going to get this territory, so there's no real reason to kind of like forever tie our houses politically. You know, we've got a good pact right now with the High Lordship. Well, not pact, an alliance, because we sent them like a bunch of gold and stuff, but we've got good terms right now with a very, very powerful High Lordship, and we're good with that. You know, we're on par with some kingdoms in terms of our military might. So yeah, we're not gonna help them out. But you know what? I'll send them some gold. Yeah, send them some gold. Even though we can't really just afford to, you know, always, you know, lose 10 pieces of gold like that. But that's the least we can do. And I think that's as far as like we'll go moving forward. All right, and I think somebody like improved my name or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Word. But we'll get back to our council and kind of like check out our realm a little bit more, like get a little bit more intimate with the world of the High Lordship of Greece. Word. And we just got robbed. So you know, Sienna, she's always right. She's gonna be, you know, walking through, you know, her realm, and you know, she doesn't really have too many bodyguards, maybe one or two, and one of them were urinating, and because of that, you know, she was caught off guard, and she fought off 2 of them, but there were about 4 of them, and she got robbed, and she lost 10 pieces of gold, but we'll find those attackers soon enough. Yeah, so we've lost a little bit of, we've lost about like, you know, maybe about 6 months of gold. That sucks. And yes, it took me that long to calculate that. I'm okay with it. I'm cool. Yeah, and you know, before we get back into that, thank you so much for the support on this video. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have waited like to be 30 minutes in to tell you that, but yeah, just thank you so much for the support on this series. I'm literally just like going to my basement in free time and like just cutting this on and like playing. I do play outside of my basement. Yeah, I do like game a lot, but like this specific series was just like something I felt like doing, and it's been a lot of fun. You know, I'm a human being, so, and like seeing like the response is cool. That you guys are watching this, and you guys are watching it for a while, and I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm gonna try to you know, get out maybe 1 to 2 of these a week. I don't know, like, right? Yeah, you guys like know my track record with that stuff, but as long as we go, we're gonna be lore building, we're gonna be realm building, we're going to be we're gonna be gaming, and I'm glad that you guys are here for the ride. Other kind of like piece of tidbit, little reminder, you know, this is a custom house series, custom like everything. We've got really like a custom world. Not really sure what this world is. We're just calling it Westeros for right now. But we've got custom kingdoms, like everything. So I definitely want some kind of like custom characters. And you know, you guys, this is really like a made-up world. You know, so you guys can send those characters in. I made a pin. I think it's on my last YouTube video. I'm probably gonna pin it to this one too. But yeah, you guys send me those characters, send me those stories. I was part of a community that was kind of like story crazy, so I know you guys are out there. Or shout out to the LAEGYR series. Anybody who was, you know, watched kind of like the LAEGYR YouTube channel, or like Alright, he made gaming like so fun for me and just like story driven, and he was kind of like crazy. He was cool, and I like dug his videos, and a lot of other people did. So word, shout out to Vela, but hope you're alive, or seriously. Right? But yeah, this is kind of like I do this for me because I just like gaming. But yeah, I think this could be like as long as I got the energy, I think this could be kind of like a channel where you guys can come and geek out and nerd out with me and just like, you know, game with this crazy like story. So I want you guys to be a part of it. But, you know, you guys are watching it. You guys aren't hitting me with like any custom character submissions, so maybe you guys are a little shy behind the whistle, but don't be. It's just a space, and, you know, type in. It says comment, type in, and like overdose on like what you want to kind of like put in there. But that's enough of that. Back to gaming. I think I've got like 5 minutes left in me. Word. It's been a fun one. Not much has kind of like happened, but I think we've covered like so much like lore wise. Or I'm not sure, but we've gamed definitely. Word. And it's getting warmer, and somebody's like happy about that. I think we'll like lose any like negative crop like modifiers. Okay, yeah, so we've got like no negative modifiers. So back to that council, seeing who we can kind of like reward with anything. So Jakaris, our castellan, he's not married. We set him up right now. He's just serving the realm. We've got our Justice Daro, and this should be a guy like I'd really want to reward. But Justicars, they either suck for you or you love them. And why is either one or the other? Because it's either you're gonna like appoint somebody and they get like claims for you, because that's the most thing that I ever do with them. And maybe we'll get to a point where we can use these other areas like better, or like sowing dissent and like improving diplomatic relations. And right now we don't really need that. We need him to get us claims on like lands. That's what we need him to do. So I'd love to kind of like, I know he's not like the most impressive. I don't think he's like the most impressive like character. Let's check him out a little bit more. Like I said, we really just went to like the find character button and found like the best person with the diplomacy skill. All right, so he's got a good diplomacy skill level of like 15, but him as a character, yeah, he's not bad, right? He's a great eminence. That means he's like really good in diplomacy. He's a skilled fighter, all right? So it's like he's good with, you know, he's good at talking, and he's good at like fighting. He's a family person, right? He's stubborn, which is good. He's trusting, and he's a fat ass. Excuse me, sorry. But no, I meant like he's gluttonous. Yeah, he's gluttonous, so he likes a little bit of everything or whatever. Yes, he's not like a character I want to reward yet. Even though he's 41, he's Pentoshi. We can maybe like convert his religion. Let me see, can we demand him to switch religions? Demand conversion. Okay. No, we don't have like any of that. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we'll not push for him. We won't get him married until he kind of like gets us the goods. You know, then I would like to maybe explore like setting him up with a house line, maybe giving him a little bit of land in the future. But as of right now, like we need more out of him. Now, when we look at a guy like Bathan, right? He's also like my husband, and he's my master at arms. And he's got a martial of 21, and he's like getting me troops at the wazoo. He's just got another modifier, which is levy and reinforcements, which gives us 50% levy reinforcement rate for like until like what? So like the 8th moon of like another year. All right, and our prosperity kind of like increases slightly. So Bathan is like doing what the hell I need him to do, and he knocked me up twice. All right. So yeah, it's Bathan probably deserves his own house line, but for me to give him his own house line, that means I'd be cool with him marrying and having a secondary wife. And I don't see Sienna being the kind of wife. I don't see her being like one of those Targaryen broads. Maybe she should be. I don't know. But if anything, I would see her being like, maybe if this could allow like multiple husbands, I can see her being like that kind of a ruler, right? Like she would have like maybe multiple husbands, but I don't see her being cool with like her husband having multiple lines or lineages. But he's such like a strong character, Would it behoove her to continue his line and continue that legacy? Yeah, but he'd be doing it through her kids, right? Bathan. So it sucks, right? Because he's like probably like the perfect candidate to kind of like set up with his own house line. But I think that's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't see that like working lore wise. I just don't see it. Or, okay, so we're gonna get this stress trait because we're not gonna lose our diligent trait. All right, so we're stressed right now, which is okay. Okay, we're not stressed. All right, good. So we didn't get that trait. All right. So next person is our treasurer, which we don't have. Yay! So we get to go shopping for like highly skilled people. Dope. All right. Let's make sure to come to our realm. Alright, so the best person available is Alex. He's Westerosi Valyrian. He's currently the treasurer of Dragonstone. Okay, so we've got that kind of like we've got that kind of thing going on. Go ahead and invite him to court. I think he'll join. Alright, so we're waiting for Alex. So we've sent a Raven out, and our game is running at like super like Saiyan speed 6, so we should get an answer soon. Alright, awesome. So we've just brought in what is he? Alex. He's a Westerosi Valyrian, former treasurer of Dragonstone, and we're bringing him in to be our new treasurer. So let's check him out as a character right away. So he's a brilliant steward. This is dope. Alright, so we're into our next year. He's a gardener, and okay, so he grows weed and exotic fruit. Cool. But would marijuana be lore appropriate? I guess so. I'm not sure. It'd definitely be called something else. So until like whoever the showrunners are, introduce that, we won't bring that in. But he grows like amazing fruit. There we go. He's honest. He's just. This guy's pretty dope. He's zealous. And he loves the dragon gods. And of course he's gluttonous. Of course he is, because that's how everybody is in my court. Alright, so somebody just died. I don't know who the hell this is. Alright, so the husband to Mira Mertens just died. Alright. And yeah, somebody remind me to go back to her kids and make sure they're all like learning things. But yeah, we'll go ahead and yes, so we're pregnant again. This is great. Let's go ahead and put on a debug to make sure we're not carrying like some bastard's child. Right, nothing wrong with bastards, it's just like, it hurts like game wise. And I don't think Sienna would be an adulteress. Is she a hedonist? Or lustful? No, she's not like any of those things. No, she is lustful. So she gets it on. Okay. So maybe having a fling is something that we might entertain down the line. And that's why, right? Like I said like earlier, I think like she would be the kind of character that that would have like multiple husbands if that was like possible game wise. But it's obviously not. Alright, so we're pregnant again. We're not gonna get another not gonna get a regent, because I thought Bathan was our regent. Not sure. It might have been like a different playthrough. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and appoint Alex our treasurer. We're gonna have him start collecting taxes. And even though Alex hasn't really like done anything, right? Just because he's such like, I like him as a character. Just like as a character, I think he's somebody that, you know, Sienna would tolerate, even though she's not like zealous. But just because he's just and he's honest, that's kind of like the kind of character she is. Even though like she worked with the mercenary group, I see her kind of like more growing now. Because I really like the whole warrior side of it. So, but my warrior is less like Braun of the Blackwater and more like, you know, Brienne of Tarth. And that's kind of like more where I'm going. And the whole fact that she's like got a little whole chubby cheek thing going on is really pushing this whole Brienne of Tarth thing for me. Anyway. Word. But we're not Brienne of Tarth. We're Lady Sienna of House LAEGYR. Word. Alright. So, yeah, well, we're actually going to go ahead and, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get him married. Let's see who's available for him. Alright, who has a high marshal? Oh, not marshal, well, stewardship. Because that's what we'd probably want to continue with his line anyway. We've got a really lengthy little game progression event that just popped up. Let's check it out. Every ruler needs to go out and meet peasants in person from time to time, just to make sure that they know you still exist, if nothing else. As you visit the locals of Greece, you speak very frankly about what you think of them, something that they took great offense in, it seems. So we have pissed off the people of Greece. Okay, wow. Why would Sienna do that? That like makes no sense. Don't you see the kind of person we're trying to push? Okay, so she kind of like stuck her foot in her mouth. That's really more or less like how I see this playing out. Or she's not a jerk. But it's something that they took great offense in. You look back to ensure that your guards are there to keep you out of harm's way, only to notice that they have all gone into the local tavern. Before you know it, the peasants begin to throw things at you. What? I could run to Stormsinger Maris and hide there. Maybe I could just outrun them. Wow. This is crazy. Okay, so there's what the hell did I do to deserve this? This is crazy. They want to kill me. Alright. So there's a 50% chance that I get wounded if I go with this option, trying to outrun them. There's a 10% chance that I get maimed and get the trait severely injured, and then there's a 40% chance that I get away safely. But there's a 60% chance that I'm getting my ass bust. And what does that mean in like northeast urban slang? Like that means I'm gonna get like exactly what it says. I'm going to become wounded and probably get maimed. Okay, I've got a 60% chance of that. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this outrunning them option. I could run to the Stormsinger Maris and hide there. Does Maris like me? Not really. Yeah, he kind of does like me. Got a 59 opinion of me, even though I'm a female ruler, even though I fired him from the council. But look, you don't have any traits that like are like council worthy. Like, let's just be straight up, bro. Or he likes us because we're favored by R'hllor. I'm not sure why, because we're High Valyrian, right? Or doesn't like us too much because we're lustful. That makes sense. He's a church guy. Okay, that 59, you know, I don't view that as not being brave, and we don't lose, like, do we have the brave trait? I'm not sure. Yeah, we do have the brave trait, but I don't see that as not being brave. I see that as like Sienna being smart. She's a mercenary. She's had like stuff that's gone wrong, and she's got to get the F out of there like dope quick. So yeah, I'm cool with her running to the Stormsinger and like hiding out there. And it's a lot better than like walking away with like a half leg, right? Yeah, I do owe you one. That's cool. Alright. So yeah, we definitely gotta kind of like get back to these kids. So we're gonna get back to Alex, our brand new treasurer, and we're going to. But before we, you know, appoint him a house for none of the no work that he's done, we're gonna go ahead and like make sure that the kids in our realm are, you know, moving forward with their education focus. So first person that we have is Gaiman Merntis. And as of right now, he's kind of like developing on the intrigue and diplomacy side. So we can either go with the diplomatic education or we can go with the intrigue. You know what? Not really sure. Like, you know, because again, the marshals are 1, so it makes no sense to really continue with that. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead with the diplomacy. You know, as of right now, he's a giant. No, he's sturdy. He's haughty. He's charitable, but he's soft. So I don't think that intrigue is kind of like a good focus for him. I think like him just being like, you know, being like a mayor of a city or something like that, that'll kind of like go a long ways for him. So I'm okay with that. Let's check out his siblings. Alright, so yeah, we have been like so slacking. So we've got a brilliant looking character over here in the form of Ciala Mertus, and I think she's our ward. Is she? No, she's not. But she is gregarious, she's zealous, she's patient, she's gluttonous. Of course, everybody in my freaking realm is gluttonous. This is crazy. But she's also brave. So we'll go ahead and give her the martial education. And let's actually assign her a new guardian. Somebody that is like really skilled with martial. And that is going to be Bathan. Who are we educating? Are we educating anybody? No. Are we in hiding? No. Oh no. Okay, that makes sense now. Cool. Alright, so Bathan has been appointed my regent. Good. And we should be having a baby anytime soon. So while we're in labor, we're sending out ravens to make sure that there's still work being done. And look at that, Ciela has yeah, she's turned into an adult, weird-looking person. Okay. All right, so we set up her brother Gaiman with his education focus. Let's check out Damon, which is, I guess, somebody's twin. I've got no clue whose twin that he is. But he's like really bad with everything. So we'll go ahead and start him off with the pride focus for his education, childhood education focus. And the last one that we've got to check out, let's see, yep, is Danar. So that's his twin. So Damon and Danar. Alright, so we'll have him same way. Have him get the pride focus. And hopefully these twins end up legendary warriors representing our realm bravely. And yeah, and we have had our next child, and it is a boy. Let's check him out. Oh, he's sickly. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Let's go ahead and set up his educational focus. And no, let's randomize a name. Ooh, I like LAEGYR. I don't like both of the L's though, but I like the name Arian. What? I didn't press that. I went with Larry. The hell? Okay. Okay, we are gonna go with not Marion. Darian. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna randomize the name. Alright, yeah, we're going with Maylor. Screw it. Alright. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. We've gained. I know that's what we've done. But I've had ton of fun with you guys. I think we're gonna make it to episode 4. It looks like we're gonna make it to episode 4. Yeah, definitely gonna get to episode 4. Not tonight though, or I'm going to sleep. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe. You know, do all this stuff. You know, I'm never gonna say it no more because I don't know. It's like you guys are just like, you guys watch what you guys feel like watching, and that's how I am. So just keep doing whatever the hell you're doing, and I'm gonna keep making these videos because I'm having fun doing it. As always, you guys have been dope. Thank you so much just for being here, and yeah, I'm out of here. See you in the next one. Peace.